Coming, guys.
Can we get this mic on?
Nice. Thanks for coming, guys. This is the Ray Chase panel. As you can see, there's me. We had graphical difficulties. I didn't realize they can't split it up. So we'll see if our main man, Brian, can switch it out intermittently. And if Max ever comes on, give his graphic a round of applause.
No, he gave up. He's leaving right now. He's like, nope, I like Ray better.
How is your San Japan? It is woo. Not bad. My name is Ray Chase. I'm a voice actor. You might know me as Master of Masters in Kingdom Hearts, Eve in Nier Automata, Roy in Fire Emblem, and Noctis in Final Fantasy 15.
Hey everybody, I'm Max Mittelman. You might know, I'm a voice actor as well. You might know me from such roles as Hikari in A Lull in the Sea.
Nobody knows you from that.
What? Inaho in Alt Noah Zero.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, see? Saitama, the One Punch Man. Ryuji in Persona 5. King in Seven Deadly Sins. Yay! Leo in Fire Emblem, Kaden in Fire Emblem, Forrest in Fire Emblem, Gray in Fire Emblem, and Gordon in Fire Emblem.
And you're a huge Fire Emblem fan, right? You played all the games? Yeah. All right, so our first... I should at least get you into Heroes. It's a mobile game, really easy, and you can have a team that is comprised of all of your voices, all of your characters.
I would like that.
Pretty cool.
I would play it just for that reason.
Yeah, you just hear yourself every time.
Yeah.
I play a man named Gaius in Fire Emblem, and his voice, because he has a beachwear. You did some beachwear Fire Emblem characters, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're naked, but not really naked.
Oh, yeah.
It's a kid's game.
Yeah.
Gaius' catchphrase whenever you click him is, "So hot!" And I just love hearing that every time I play. He's great.
They ran with the tomatoes thing because Leo had a thing for tomatoes, and then for the beachwear thing, it's just tomatoes all over the place, like in the background, on his book. I don't know, it's everywhere. Hey, is this your water?
No.
Okay.
Oh, leftover from... this one is... Okay.
I was just gonna pour him some water here.
Thanks. Here's... It always sounds so refreshing. You poured me water? Wait, what do you do? What's our panel? I forgot what this panel is.
Is this RPGs?
Video games? Great. We have talked about some video games. We're on track. We're doing all right. You might also know us, which we'll talk about, Loud, Annoying, and Very Annoying, which is our group, the three of us, including Robbie. Robbie always comes on Fridays, and we used to not be able to talk about Friday nights to cons. We used to not be able to talk about why, but now we can say it's because he records Spider-Man 9 in the morning every Friday for the past 2 years. So he'll be here tonight, and we'll do a lot of fun stuff with him tomorrow. What is a video game? What does it mean?
It's a good question, Professor Chase.
Of videos. Interactivity in video games has always been something that we talk about as a society. Whether it starts out as the simple games, Asteroids and excuse me, Sarah, very serious discussion about the history of video games. Max, if you have something to say, you can raise your hand or be excused from the class.
No, I don't have
nothing to say. Okay, no. Great. In 1989, I will pour water on your head. There is no water left. It is an empty threat. But this is about video games, but we can talk about whatever. This is a Q&A panel. There is a microphone there. If you guys have questions.
Yes, you in the way back, in like the last row.
The last row and the empty rows?
In the very way back. There's nobody back there.
There's nobody back there. But we can answer always the questions that come up at these. How did you get started in being a voice actor, Max?
I was we both went to USC, actually. We didn't know each other at USC.
Even though we went to the same college at the same time.
Yeah, but I was a pre-med student, which is why. Pre-med for 4 years, and then my last year I switched to theater. And at the same time, I discovered voiceover, and I got a voiceover agent, and I got my degree in theater, and I started auditioning and booking stuff. And that's how it happened. I took a lot of acting classes, a lot of voiceover as well classes, and improv and on-camera technique stuff. And yeah, but then I pursued it really hard. I really went after it, like I would have gone after being a doctor, you know? I trained every day, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats. And then I would do a 10-kilometer run.
Oh, did we get it?
Hey!
No, that's just Max. No, that's me.
He's gonna
Hey, you
flip.
did it!
He's gonna
Give
flip.
Brian a hand.
Wait, it's just you. Yeah, that makes me. Give me a hand.
So it'll cycle in between? That's perfect. Well, what you said was about going after voice acting like you were to go after being a doctor was one of the things that drew me to you. I had done about 5 years of doing odd jobs and auditioning for some things and having some success in voice acting, doing commercials and audiobooks and things like that. And then I met this guy at a workshop, and we really hit it off because he went after it. A lot of people go, "Oh, acting, it's just luck. You just got to be at the right place at the right time," and that is true. That some opportunities only come once in a lifetime, but to be prepared for when those opportunities come is a big deal, and to always make yourself available for every opportunity that comes by is a big deal. And I remember sitting down and talking with you, and you said, I look at, if I was going to become a doctor, I would get these certain degrees and pass these tests and work at these certain places, and then I would be a doctor. And it's the same way with voice acting. You have to be a little creative to come up with that structure, but there's still missions that you have to complete. There's still degrees you have to get, even though they're not official. It's a good way to approach that. And that was about like 4 years ago, and we've been supporting each other ever since. It's been really, really nice to have someone by your side, which does not happen often, especially in the acting business.
So let me ask, who here is a fan of JRPGs? Keep your hand up if you've played Final Fantasy 15. Keep your hand up. Now put your hand up if you've played Persona 5. Now put your hand up if you played Atelier, Eska, and Logi. And that's what I thought.
No way! There's still a significant amount of people. There's like 10 people. Wow.
But you guys are the true fans. The ones who have played Atelier, Eska, and Logi. You're real fans. No, I'm kidding.
No.
To each their own. I have played Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite, maybe favorite game of all time. And yet I've only played 3 hours of Final Fantasy 15. Persona 5, I got 7 hours in.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And do you want to do like a Q&A?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do Q&As.
Actually, no, there's a microphone there, so you can line up if you'd like. We get... Go.
What would be your best? I can bust a flow if you want to.
Oh, really? Can you?
Yeah.
Max.
I can bust a flow. I have a stupid saying, and I'm about to go. And you know how I can be a voice actor instead of using these numbers on the track.
Very cool.
All right, what's your name and what's your question?
David.
Hey, David.
Mainly, a lot of my friends my 3 best friends are theater kids. You know what I mean? I was really a skater, but they were all theater kids. You know, acting, writing, everything, my three brothers. And we said, worst comes to worst, if we don't make it famous, he wanted to do voice acting and
Worst comes to worst. It is hell. It is hell, right, Max? Yeah.
Middle school, when you think you're gonna be like Leonardo DiCaprio, you know.
Right.
So but it's still amazing to me. Like just meeting voice actors who I see, like that I've seen in games and stuff, blows my mind. It's like just like meeting a celebrity to me. But what would you say is like the best way to start? You said you started in voiceover in college and everything like that. Like, what would you say is like the toughest challenge to overcome to start becoming a voice actor?
Toughest challenge?
Rejection is a constant. I mean, you book maybe, especially when they're starting out, it took me 6 months of constantly auditioning to book my first job, which paid $100, and I only got it because 2 people auditioned for it, me and one other person. So when you're first starting out, you get nothing but rejection and a tiny glimmer of hope, but you still have to pound that pavement. I just keep popping these P's. I'm terrible at it. Maybe this will help. You just have to keep going at it even when it's the toughest. And even now, you book maybe 1 out of every 100. So every day you sit down at your computer and you go, all right, here's 10 things I'm going to fail at today. You just have, here's all my auditions. I am not going to get, there's no way that you're going to get all of them. So you just have to be prepared every day for getting nothing and continually getting nothing. That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
For sure. Thanks, David. Hello, what's your name? What's your question?
My name is Michael.
Hey, Michael.
My question is when you're doing the voiceover for Ryuji in Persona 5, how was it working? Or did you actually like the character?
Yeah. I like most, if not all, the characters that I voice, and even if they're, say, villains, I can find something to like about them. But Ryuji I liked because he's so emotional. He's such a hothead, and that's really fun to portray. I think I think not for everyone, but for what?
Do the scream.
What scream?
The Ryuji scream.
It's fun, but actually, to me, that's one of the most fun things I can do is to get angry. I think that's a very fun emotion to play, and there's a lot of that with Ryuji. There's a lot of he's very he wants justice for, if there's a wrongdoing, he'll want justice for it. So anyway, it's really fun to play.
I remember when the auditions came out, you saw the character art for Ryuji and what he was all about, and you wanted that part.
Yeah, that was
You were
it.
like, I need to be this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was really fun.
This is going to be an extra question. Could you do one of your favorite lines for Ryuji?
For real? Sure.
Hello.
Hi there.
My name's Katrina.
Hi, Katrina.
Katrina.
I got a few questions for you guys, and Max, you are really important to you. You two are Ray.
Thank
you're
you.
also- but-
I'll leave. I'll just
You
go.
guys are good. So, funny story. Okay, for you, Max.
Yes.
So, my boyfriend, we've known each other for like a really long time, but like we kind of stopped talking. Like before we were dating, obviously, we were just friends. And he asked me a few years, like after like not talking to him for a while, he messaged me, "Hey, what's a good anime to watch?" And I told him Al Noah Zero. And he's just like fell in love with the series, and we kind of started talking again, like as friends, and then we like, realized kind of like one of the animes that kind of like brought us together. So I'll definitely be swinging by your autograph booth.
Awesome.
He's at Lackland Air Force Base right now at
Oh,
basic
wow.
training. So
And Alt Noah Zero is all about airships, and for those who don't know, it's a mecha anime. So yeah.
So yeah, anyways, like I didn't know that you voiced Naho and that's his favorite character, so I'll definitely be swinging by your autograph booth.
Cool.
But Ray, like Final Fantasy 15 is actually like my first Final Fantasy. Tyler's also got me into that too. And just from, I'm not really good at asking questions. From Noctis's perspective, what is your take on beans?
Beans.
That was a really fun line to record because it was supposed to be something like, oh no, beans, or I hate beans, or something boring like that. And it wasn't fitting and it wasn't flowing. And then at a certain point, I just said, we have to, because you have to match it to the Japanese. It had to be 3 seconds long. And we said, what if we make this a 3 second long syllable? And that's how, I'm really glad they went with it. It's awesome.
And like, were you excited when you found out that you got the role for a Final Fantasy game?
Yes, I had a callback for it, which I'd never had a callback for anything before. And when I found out about it, I called this guy before even calling my mother, unfortunately.
And now I get to confront your mother about this face to face.
Well, I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Prompto.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Alright, my name's Leon.
Hey, Leon.
Two questions, if that's alright. The first one, do you think you guys had like a defining moment in your voice acting career? Like where everything kind of like turned for the better?
No. I don't. I feel like, because that's similar to the question of like, when did you make it? Or when did you break in? And I don't think that breaking into me means that you consistently submit excellent work every time. And by doing that, you let people know that you are consistent in your work and that you're good. And I think that's breaking in. Is letting the most people know that that you are around and you are really a good fit for the job. So
consistency is a big part of the job because you have to constantly be working in order to make a living at it. So moments are tough. But I will talk about a moment that I loved, which was getting to voice Roy in Fire Emblem, because that was the first. Most of the time as a voice actor, you're voicing new characters. You're voicing people who have never been voiced and people who nobody's seen before. But I grew up playing Super Smash Bros. Melee. I loved Roy. He was my main, and to be able to, I didn't audition for the part. Roy's our boy. Finally made it into the game. It's awesome. It was just an absolute honor, and that's the moment. That was a moment that I can pinpoint when the Nintendo people said, "Oh, by the way, you're going to do Roy once you're done with Alphonse," and that was pretty crazy. So yeah, not many moments, but every once in a while there's something.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like successes like that, like I knew One Punch Man was a really cool one. When I booked that, I was really excited. Harry Osborn in Spider-Man, I was so stoked to play Harry Osborn. Spider-Man is one of my favorite comic book properties, so that was really, really cool for me. Yeah, so there's a couple. And then you had a second question, right?
Yes. So with Breath of the Wild being like as popular as it is, do you guys think or maybe have a voice that Link could have? Because it looks like Link's gonna be having a voice soon. There's so many rumors about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, I
don't know. I
haven't heard any of those rumors.
I'm so used to Link's voice just being the just you know, because that I don't know. I couldn't really think of. I mean, look, if he's if he's like a young, I know his archetype, so I do have a voice that could. I do have a voice for that, but yeah, I don't know. That's I can't really picture it in my head if someone were to do that.
Yeah, they made such an effort to make everyone else speak in Breath of the Wild, and Link very clearly never speaks and never will, unless it was, I can't wait to bomb the dongos, back in the CDI days, when he did have a voice, but we won't talk about those days. So that, I don't know. I haven't heard any rumors about that, so no.
Is he having an animated series?
I think there's something on Netflix, right? Like
is there?
No.
No. Okay. Maybe not. It's pretty safe to assume that there's something on Netflix for everything now.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Death Note.
Yeah.
We will not speak.
Yeah.
But thank you guys.
Thanks, Leon.
Thank you.
You guys enjoy your stay in Japan.
Thank you.
Cheers. And Noctis right behind him.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. So my name's Tabitha. Nice to meet y'all.
Hey, Tabitha.
Hey. So quick question. So I graduated actually like a year ago from getting my BA in child development and psychology. and I'm having a rough time finding a job, so I'm thinking about going back to school and pursuing classes. My question to y'all is, what was your favorite class that you took?
Beans.
One of my favorites, so USC is very different in terms of what its curriculum is. You have these 6 things, and it's very random. One of them was, it had to be Western history, one of them had to be Eastern history, one of them was lab science, one of them was non-lab science, a culture, and then some other culture thing. And that was it, no math at all. It was very bizarre.
I took math the first day I got to USC. Never took it again. I walked into the classroom late. I didn't know, it was off campus somewhere. It was a calculus something or other. And I walked in and they already had all these equations written up on the board. I literally sat down, I got in like 10 minutes of the class. Everyone left, I was still sitting there. I kept staring at the board and I was like, drop class. Like I literally went to my phone and I've tried to figure out how to drop the class at that moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have an odd assortment of classes, and one of the ones I used for mine was Japanese fiction and film. And that was I'd always grown up playing Japanese games, watching anime, but I never thought about it as like, what was the history of all this stuff? What is Japanese fiction like? And being able to go to a class like that and be exposed to a ton of poetry and artwork and films from the Showa era going way back, it was really, really cool. And learning about all the different eras of Japan, that was a very influential class. I really enjoyed that. At the very end, we watched Evangelion. That was the end.
Unfortunately for me, being a pre-med student for 4 years, I really didn't take too many fun classes. But as far as classes that I really enjoyed, I took dialects twice because it was so much fun. And I took like an earthquake science class. So that was fun, studying about tectonic plates. And
that was a really popular class at USC, the earthquake one.
Yeah. Oh, here's a really fun class. I didn't even think about it. Maybe my most enjoyable was at Berkeley, because I went to Berkeley for a semester, UC Berkeley, and I took a class called Drugs and the Brain. That was an 800-person class. That was very fun to learn about drugs and the brain.
Exactly what you're talking about. You would have hated my thing. I took stats for like 2 years, and I took a whole bunch of algebra, so I feel you.
Nope. Yep.
But yeah, thanks.
Thanks, good luck in
Thank
college.
you. Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, my name's Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Just a quick question on, you said that, you got a voice manager, voiceover manager to try to get you jobs, but what was your portfolio like? Did you have like lines that you did to like in different voices? Like, on YouTube when it first started coming in, you had those guys go on there and these were 100 different voices, and did y'all have something similar to that, or did y'all just do maybe like favorite lines from a movie or something just to try to get your voice out there to show the range that you had?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you have demos when you do it professionally, and one unfortunate thing, there's a lot of those YouTubers who are extremely talented and they do all the impressions, but they have a tough time making it in the business because you're voicing original characters. So even while you might be a skilled mimic, the job requires you to come up with new voices every day, and a lot of people who are very talented might not otherwise succeed in the industry because of that. So our demos when we were first starting out was all original stuff. That before I had work that I could then put onto my own demo tape. I would voice stuff from games that were unvoiced. So lines from like Final Fantasy IV, stuff like that were, and minor lines, not super famous ones that an agent might go, what the heck is this? But just run-of-the-mill everyday lines. You come up with your own voices, put them on, and put some music behind it. That was how I first started.
Yeah, same thing. I actually didn't have a demo when I got my agent. They took me on in good faith, but
What a mistake.
what a mistake. I promised them the world, and instead I dropped them. But the demo was good. Afterwards, I got a demo made because that's good to shop around, send to producers. When producers go, we need a guy who can do X, Y, and Z, and then your agent sends them that demo. But for the most part, after you get an agent, your agent just gets you auditions. They get auditions from casting directors, and then they send out the auditions to whoever they think is most appropriate for it. So I had no problem getting auditions, even though I didn't have a demo.
I was just gonna ask one more thing, was that, so, after recording, since you had a demo, recording your demos, were they like, how would you go about doing that? I mean, technology now is a little bit better in phones, but obviously you would wanna run it through some sort of software. Like, what did you do to actually get that out there?
I went to a demo producer. So I went to a guy, I paid a guy to do all the production, so it sounds really, really good. I recorded it with him on a really expensive microphone, and he did everything for me after that. I put in all the work as far as what the words were and what the characters were, and then he kind of rearranged it.
And I learned how to engineer. So I got Reason was the DAW that I used, and that one you're able to easily put in music and record your voice. So it takes a while, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alright, of course it's... Hey, come on, this is serious.
It was very fun.
Alright, of course, it's...
Sorry, what's your name?
Dorian.
I thought it was...
Sort of. I mean,
Sort of. What's your question, Dorian?
Alright. Of course, it's like super rewarding when you get like a role for like the first time or like any time. But like for you guys, what is when you booked a character? What is a character that pleasantly surprised you? Like when you first like auditioned for him and you saw him, you're like, what the hell is this guy's deal? But then as like the story progressed, you're like, oh, okay, this character is actually kind of badass.
That's a really good question. I would say Duke Cayenne in Trails of Cold Steel. I don't know if you guys have played that game, but he's a very cool part. I don't want to spoil it, but that was one that I don't even think I auditioned for. I was just given it. Yeah, Duke Cayenne, the red-haired guy. He was very, very cool to see him develop, because we did that whole game in order, and that was a really fun one. What about you? It's an interesting question. We've never been asked it. Yeah. The question is...
Rephrase it.
What? Rephrase it.
Just say it.
Just say it. The question
I'm still thinking about the burp. I'm sorry.
What was a character who you were given that you didn't think much of, and then you were pleasantly surprised as you worked on him to discover?
Poltergeist?
Poltergeist.
I don't know. That I didn't think much of. I think the world of all my characters.
But surely there's ones that you're just given.
That I'm just given, and I didn't think much of. King?
He's like a tiny boy in a dress coat.
Yeah. King.
He's literally known as the Fairy King.
Yeah.
It's hard not to...
I guess so, because King does change. King changes from the beginning, and his relationship with certain characters change, namely Bond. And so I may have underestimated him in the beginning of the show, and then I found out he's a little more complex. And learning his backstory, because he's got backstory, because he's got those flashback episodes. So yeah, okay, King.
Okay. Thank you, Dorian. Hey, Vincent. What's your real name?
My name is Senan.
Hey, Senan.
I have two questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
First one is for both of you. Whenever you play Final Fantasy, do you have a favorite class?
It changed. I always try to make all of my games different, but normally my go-to is like a rogue character. I like high agility kind of knife guys. What about you?
I like mages.
Mage. White mage, red mage?
Doesn't matter.
Mage me up, baby.
My second question is just for Ray. Can I record this one, please?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, no, okay. 10 people. I'm sorry, not 10 people. 3 people bet me $10 I would not actually ask this.
Uh-oh.
could you please say the cake baby line from Final Fantasy 15?
That's it? That's not so bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present the Cake Baby line from Final Fantasy 15, a game presented by Square, released in 2016. Cake Baby.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Hello.
Feel free to, you can
adjust
move
it,
around,
you can
yeah.
Okay. All right. That should be good. Hello. I'm Jordan.
Hi,
Jordan.
And this question is for Ray. Nothing against you, Max. I played Fates, and I think all of your roles, as many as you had, were great.
Oh, thank you.
But coming into this con, Ray, I thought, like, you know, for your role for Roy, like, you kind of just sort of auditioned, and then maybe Nintendo gave you the thumbs up, and that was it. I had no idea that you really were, like, kind of a part of knowing, you know, Roy's legacy and how him and Marth sort of popularized Fire Emblem in the West. So I was kind of wondering, you know, having actually mained Roy, and, you know, hearing his Japanese voice from June, and then having to adapt that in Heroes, like, you know, what sort of vision you thought of for Roy, or how you sort of adapted it from the original Japanese voice?
Well, it was something that I'd always thought about for years as playing Melee and hearing the Japanese voice only. So it was a voice that I was very familiar with, even though I didn't know what he was saying. I did not audition for Roy. I was auditioned for Alphonse, was given the part for Alphonse, Gaius, and then at the very end they said, oh, also we'll have you play a character named Roy. And that was when my heart skipped a beat. I was like, what are you talking about? And at that point, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll record a lot of different people if they don't audition for a thing, and then they just give it to whoever was the best. I don't know if that's what they did, but for the longest time I thought, wow, I at least have a shot. Even though I recorded it, I thought maybe I won't end up getting the part, but that really meant a lot for me. I played a lot of he's a mature kid. He knows what he is leading up to. Nice work! Well done, Brian. He's mature, he has a lot on his shoulders, but he's still naive and doesn't know a lot about the world, so I wanted to play up his naivete, but a lot of his emotional maturity too. He has two sides to him, for sure.
And what in particular you think was your favorite line to do for Heroes for Roy?
Of course. Roy's our boy. That was insane that they had me record that. That was really, really cool. Because what does that mean to him? How does he know what Roy's our boy means? He's never played the game. That was really, really fun. Out yesterday, finally. People can talk about that.
All right, thank you.
Thanks,
so
Jordan.
much.
Cheers. Prompto Gladio. Hey, guys.
So, I'm Kaden, this is Haley.
Hi, guys.
I completely lost her voice.
Oh,
Double taking it.
nice.
Alright, her question is, do you have a favorite mess up or blooper that's just weird or iconic line that has actually stuck with you?
I'll tell you this. I'm recording a show right now where I play a character who attacks with these magic balls. And anytime I say a take, I always take a take where he says, check out these balls! And once the bloopers come out for that, I'm very excited to see it, because it is ridiculous. He's just always showing his balls. He's asking people to touch his balls. It's a funny word to say, balls, all the time. It's a lot of fun. They can't talk about that show.
Alright, another one from Haley. What was the most challenging role you've had to do? Like one that's possibly stranger voice or that you had just to struggle to get into character?
Saitama was pretty interesting for me because for the first 4 episodes, I had the producer working very closely with me, and because there's another character that changes from beginning to end. Like you see more of his personality as you go along. At first, he's just this guy, and like everything he does is just like this. And then you have moments where he gets really upset, or he gets really excited, or he's teaching a lesson. But that that one was cool to discover as it went along. What was the did I get the question right?
Yes, you got the question right. Well done, Max. Max and I were sick last week at a con, and we're just about over it. So I apologize. For me, Noctis was tough at first because we didn't know what he sounded like. We didn't know his story, and so we had a different voice for him entirely. That came out in the demo, and the challenge was getting through a recasting process where it was about a month long, coming up with a different voice. Was I going to be the voice? And quite a challenge, especially with all the uncertainty. So yeah, there's some tough stuff out there.
All right, now my question.
Great.
Have you ever been rejected from a voice role that you feel like the person who did get it wasn't quite a good match for the character?
Oh yeah. Saitama, King, Poltergoose I auditioned for.
Pori Prisoner, Roy, Prompto.
No, I mean, of course you you think that you have it all figured out when you're in the booth by yourself. And you're like, oh, I know who this character is. But when you're sitting watching cartoons, it's great. You accept it all. It's the person who worked on it did a really good job. Was directed by the writer, the producer. It goes through all these levels, so it's always great. Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
Spencer.
Hi, Spencer.
Hi, Spencer.
My question goes to Ray.
Yes.
What did you think of how weird Evangelion got?
What do I think of how weird it was?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. We'd also watched Akira. I mean, it just gets. It's Japanese. It's fine. That was. I really enjoyed the musical sequences in Evangelion. It was just. I saw it as art and expression. I didn't know the story was too difficult to follow, but it was still really fun to watch just for the music and visuals alone. Really, really nice. Cheers. Thanks. Hi.
Hey, you can lift it up.
Yeah. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thank you. My name is Jermaine.
Hey, Jermaine.
Hey.
I have a question, or I actually have two, if you really. One's outside of curriculum.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's pretty much the same question.
Go ahead. Ask us both.
Okay. Fantasy question. Four slots. 4 slots for your party. Who would you choose to be in your Final Fantasy party? But they have to be anime characters.
And so we count as one. So there's 3 people that we're gonna choose.
Oh.
I'm asking you.
3? Or,
Well, so there's.
You count as one.
So I count as one.
Yeah, you
Which
count as one.
which anime characters would we have in our Final Fantasy party? And we have 4 to choose from. The most powerful ones. So let's see.
Yeah, but you'd have to hang out with them.
It's okay. King, Ryuji, Inaho, and Hikari. Did I miss anyone?
No.
Okay.
So you would hang out with yourself. You love yourself.
Yes.
Is the idea.
Yes. And Harry Osborn.
Who would I choose in my Final Fantasy party? Without stealing Max's idea, I would like to hang out with Saitama. I think he's a cool guy, and he would cook and do a really good job of taking care of us and making sure we didn't spend all of our gil in one place. I would choose Master Roshi, just because he's funny. He always makes me laugh. Always doing something crazy. He'd be our comic relief. Let's see. All Might is really fun. I think he's got a compelling story, and he's when he's strong, he's really strong. When he's weak, he's just a cool guy who helps you out. And how about who's Space Dandy? Because he makes me laugh too. Ian Sinclair, he does a really good job. So that'd be my party. That'd be really fun.
I would destroy your party. Can I just say real quick? When I was younger, you got to you change the name of the character, right? And I was playing Final Fantasy 1 or 2 or 3. They're all the same. And one of the characters, no, it was the one. And one of the characters I named myself, and I thought it was really, really, really cool. I named him Septic. I thought that was the coolest name. I was like 6 years old, and I went to my mom, and I was like, Mom, look at the names of my characters. There's a black mage and a red mage, and this one's called Septic. She's like, what, honey? I said, yeah, I made it myself, Septic. And she's like, she literally laughed in my face. She's like, do you know what that means? Sewage. I was like, nope, it's a cool name, and you get that.
It is a cool, just as a word.
Septic. If it didn't mean, sewage or anything, poop.
Just much poop.
It would just,
What's your second question?
Okay. Second question. Different. It's kind of the same. 3. 3 you can only have in your party. Except, this is a fighting game. It's the next King of Fighters of this year. Which 3 fighters would you have to represent you in King of Fighters? Only thing is, it has to be JRPG characters.
Okay, first one, Septic. Septic for sure. He would destroy. Go straight for the gut. In JRPG characters,
I'm gonna call Zell just because he's great.
That was the one I was gonna say.
And his limit break goes forever. That's how you beat the game. If you guys don't know, you can never stop. He never stops punching. He's the opposite of One Punch Man. Zell is Many Punch Man. I would have Zell. Who else?
I don't. As far as JRPGs go, I only really know Final Fantasy. The Final Fantasy games, so I would go Zell, sorry. Zell and Cloud and not Noctis. Would I take Vincent?
Vincent Valentine?
I'll take Vincent Valentine.
Steve Bloom, you'd have Steve Bloom in your party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would choose Noctis. I've got muscles, you just can't see them. And I would take Master Roshi. Because he makes me laugh. He was in fighting games. He counts. Totally counts. Yeah, he'd be great. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you.
3 fighters. No, just kidding.
All right, hello, my name is Christian.
Hi, Christian.
And I have 2 questions. First one's for Ray.
Yes.
Given the most recent Final Fantasy update, which would you rather have, the power of kings or the power of assassins?
I'd rather have the power of a noodle hat.
All right, this one's my actual serious question.
Yes.
So when it comes with like the newest Fire Emblem game, not counting Heroes, Fire Emblem Echoes, you, Robbie, and Max were all in that game. Did you guys were you guys intentionally auditioning? Like, did you guys audition like together, or was it like your agents?
I know what you're asking, and the answer is there's no answer, but oddly, me, Robbie, and Max have worked together on a ridiculous amount of projects.
We never intend to.
No. And what's weird is Gray and Tobin, 2 random characters who happen to be paired together, and it's Robbie and Max.
We were just paired together in a different game that I can't talk about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And it's just bizarre. Why? Why is it always us?
Yeah.
We didn't ask for this.
Very strange.
So, no, it's totally weird, and it has nothing to do with our agents, and it's all different studios. It's just pure chance or God screwing with us. Who knows?
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, Iris.
Hello. You
Just
can move
jump
it. Just like bring it down, or take the microphone out. Just like pull it out.
Leon's got it.
Don't.
He's our mic tech.
So my name is Sam.
Hi, Sam.
I have 2 questions. One, what's the most funnest part about coming to conventions?
Meeting you guys.
Yeah, no, it's a huge deal. I love walking through Artist Alley. I think it's super inspiring just to see a lot of local people who are very talented, and in so many different ways. It's Artist Alley is not just about posters, but charms are really popular, and buttons, and we got this little, we got your little thing. I love wearing stuff. I like the Scylla blossoms that people make. It's super inspiring. That's our favorite part.
Yeah, and lately I like our show that we do, Loud, Annoying, and Very Annoying.
Right, in this very room, Saturday at 10 p.m. Loud and Very Annoying! You'll see us here at 10 p.m. We've got our show, and it's the adult version, correct?
Yes.
Which we haven't done in a while. We've done a lot of our PG shows for the past year, but we'll have a fun time tomorrow night. That'll be really fun.
Hey, thank you for your question.
Speaking of Artist Alley, there has a Noctis shrine for his birthday there. So.
What?
Oh, you guys. You saw the one last week at Crunchyroll that I took a picture of? Oh, yeah. I hope it's as sad as that one,
My next question is for you, Ray.
Great.
I haven't seen all these service dogs, so where's Milo?
Milo is with my family in Las Vegas. I've had 4
But if your
conventions
family's
in a row.
here...
Oh no, where's Milo? Milo, I do not want to leave him at the borders for a month, which would be criminal and inhumane. So I always drive to Vegas, drop off my dog, and then he's there for the month being taken care of by a foster family, where we've had a ton of dogs come through our family's doors, taking really good care of. So he couldn't be in better hands. And right now he's at a border, but only for 3 days, so he's okay. Yeah.
Thank you. We have 2 questions left and 3 minutes left.
Great.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
And, my question is for Max. What's your favorite thing about Logi and the XV Logi?
About Logi?
Yeah!
Logi?
Those of you who don't know, I don't know how you couldn't know, Atelier, Eska, and Logi was a very popular Japanese role-playing game. Max played Logi. I played Saul Grumman and Harry. And we went to Japan together, and it was the only thing that we had, I think this was way early in our careers, this was the only thing that we had worked on, and we went to Japan and found a copy.
That might be my favorite thing about Logi, is we went to a video game store and tried to tell them in our broken Japanese that I'm the English voice of Logi, and they half understood. I don't know if they ever fully
They just thought that you were Logi? You're like, you're not Logi.
They thought I really liked him, I think, and so we were like, I was like, can I have that poster? And they're like, no. And they were like, tomorrow you can have it, because I think they were taking the poster down, but they were going to give it to me. That was the first game, the first JRPG that I ever worked on. And we jumped right into it. There wasn't a lot of explanation, but we got through a lot of lines in a very short amount of time. So, but that's, as far as Logi goes, that's my favorite part.
You play the game?
Yes, actually, I played the XV Logi series first before playing Sophie and Fierce, the new one that just came out.
Oh yeah, I think we're in that one, I forget.
Actually, that's how I fell in love with the whole Atelier series.
Yeah, cool.
The people that you guys voiced. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Cheers. Last question. Oh, Leon, you're being called to adjust the mic. This is your job. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I should be paid for this?
Yes, checks at the door.
I'm James.
Hi, James.
Quick question for Max.
Yes.
Do you plan to do King's voice for season 2 and possibly 3 for Deadly Sins?
Yes! Yeah, why not?
Why not? We haven't begun recording.
No, we haven't been told anything about it.
Yeah.
But that's my plan.
That would be nice.
And just another quick question. Do you read the manga for Seven Deadly Sins like currently?
No, I don't. I haven't.
Super good.
Oh, well.
Ooh.
If anybody wants to get me that as a gift. No, I'm kidding. I'll get it myself. Yeah.
We should record ourselves doing a fan dub version of the manga. That'd be really fun. Just sit around and say the lines out loud.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be very fun.
We wouldn't get fired.
So we have, so that's it. That's 3:30. We have signings tonight. Are we at the same time? I'm at 5:30.
Are you?
Yeah.
Because I was just told 5:30 was wrong. I'm at 6:30. So we might still...
Tonight. There are things, and please come to our panels tomorrow and Lava in this room tomorrow at 10 p.m. See you guys. Thanks for being a great audience. Thanks for all the questions.
Guys.